Right. So with this one-shot session, we're going to pick up, not with a where we left off, but instead with a scene. A scene that is, actually kind of has nothing to do with you, Jasmine. We're going to jump across the streets to an unknown location, hidden far away from the prying eyes of the people that make this city their home day to day. There's a grand and magnificent golden hall, its statues towering above all the people that stride past it each day, and it is a place of constant motion. Everyone who comes here has come here for a reason, and they go here enacting about the will of those that built this place. They are thorough, they are hardworking, and many of them are expendable. We drift down the hallways deeper into this place, and as we do, the magnificence seems to rescind and slide away, as easy as water slipping off the surface of sand. It slowly transforms into an office space, dull and dreary, as if on purpose to suck out as much life as it could. There are people moving around in here. Most of them wear their flat caps off a little hook on their jackets as they move about. Very few of them have put them on, but they are an eclectic bunch, to say the least. They sit and chat beside water coolers and discuss their recent endeavors outside of this place. The camera sort of strays on some of their faces. There is a man with a hair lip, rather handsome otherwise, apart from the deformity, who is cursing madly as he strides back and forward smoking. A woman steps up to him and glares at him, holds out her hand, which turns to ice, and he puts out the cigarette in her hand and grumbles before going back into his office. The camera moves past them and slides through a door that is closed. You see Duncan Foley. He is sitting at his desk, his hair greasy and unwashed, his flat cap lying beside him on the table. His ashtray is overflowing, and his eyes are hooded and dark rimmed. His thick dolphin ring is wrapped around his fingers as he scratches at the side of his head and mumbles to himself. The computer screen seems to display a mash of colors and misplaced digits that flash almost incoherently across his screen, but he seems to make sense of it. He sighs, reaches across, and drags out a new file as the door opens, and there is a figure standing there. A woman, tall, with a strange-looking eyes that seem hooded despite the fact that she is not wearing any hat or anything to cover them. There's a thick, heavy pistol by her side that sort of sways with the movement of her hips. She goes,
"Duncan, you coming out tonight? Foley and Marquis are cooking, you know."
And he goes, "No, I'm not coming out tonight. I'm busy. This thing with the statues has got me troubled." And she goes,
"Hey, it's no big deal. Trust me, come out. You will enjoy yourself."
He goes, "Fine. Check on the shoemaker, make sure he's got all his stuff, yeah?" And she goes,
"He's fine. He's always fine."
"Get one of the others to do it, but check on him." He gets up, stops for a moment, goes back to his flat cap and pulls on, opens up a case, considers taking what is in there with him, but leaves it behind. The portal that drops him into the city streets several minutes later is inconspicuous and unseen by the mortals. Him and the rest of his friends sort of blur out of an alleyway as if stepping out of there. And then they are on the streets, heading to one of their houses for an evening of curry and drinking and talking. By the end of the night, he is stumbling home, half drunk, but not in the mood to summon another another portal. He wants to walk tonight, following the water's edge. He wants to feel the rain on his skin. His mythos is churning inside him. He can feel that something is not quite right. And as he does walk, he feels it push and pulse. There is an old man ahead of him, tottering along drunkenly. The old man has stopped and is staring at something over above the water, and he is walking towards it. Duncan Foley steps forward, and what happens that night haunts him for a while. He saves the old man, but the shimmering light he saw remains in his mind. So he begins investigating. He begins looking into things, and what he finds is not what he expected. He knows he should kill this thing, end it, but there is another option. There's another pathway, and very subtly, without anyone knowing, he burns her file and goes to meet her, bringing only the best of his men. He arrives there, and we're going to cut to now inside the pub. His 30-something men have walked in. That you can see now, only 10 of them look like 10 of them seem to look like competent individuals. The rest of them hardly seem human. They seem to be made of like clay or something. They're dressed in the same kind of uniform of the long jackets. They don't wear a flat cap though, and their faces and their bodies seem to be dark and made of like a clay-ish substance. When Duncan releases them and speaks to you, he sort of waves his hand and they all begin to march out. You can see of the 10 that slowly begin to move out, 3 of them are women, very similar looking but not sisters. They each wear breastplates on their chests and carry broadswords by their side. The other one is a man with the skin of a lizard, but otherwise human features. He has a boomerang laying across his legs. Beside him is a man thick-chested with what looks like a bow of some kind and several spears that he's summoning and flashing out, almost the way James does it. He has a glimmering belt tied around his waist. The other one of them is fingering what looks like a knight's helmet under his arm. That does not seem to have any weapons on him. There is a smooth-faced, arrogant-looking fellow with what looks like some kind of instrument, though not anyone you've ever seen before. It's like a combination between a guitar and some sort of, what are they called? Accordion. Melded together. It doesn't seem like it could possibly make sense, but the strings seem to stretch and bend as he extends it and makes this disturbing noise. There is also a figure that is covered in hair, his face twisted and monkey-like, with sharp fangs that extend out of his mouth as he lets out a low growl. The final one of them stays and lingers a moment as the rest of them leave, and he is wearing a mask that covers the entirety of his face. A black mask with nothing else on it, and 2 black-rimmed eyes. He watches, and Duncan nods to him. He nods back and steps outside. As he does, Duncan turns to you and says what he says, asks you to make this place into the new Wicker Hound, a sanctuary for the people, for the mists of this part of the city, and you refuse him. He asks for mead. You pour 2 glasses, and as they clink onto the ground, he goes, "Let me put it this way. You're dangerous, very dangerous, and I have 2 options here. Either we come to an accord, or I have to do my job. You understand me?"
Right, and his job, what would it be other than just, killing me? I assume there's more to that job description.
There might be.
But nothing you wish to share, I assume.
Do you know much about animals?
I know a fair bit.
There's only one animal that they don't kill if it kills a human. See, lions, tigers, bears, wolves, if one of them kills kills a human, they will go. We have to go out of our way to find the exact one that killed that human and kill it. And this can go on for days. Sometimes in America, they can be killing hundreds of bears just to find the one that ate that person. Because the thing is, once it gets a taste for it, it never stops. But there's one animal that they don't kill. This one creature which, if it kills a human, they don't kill it. Do you know what that is?
No. Why don't you lie to me?
It's a crocodile. Because a crocodile don't care about what it eats. It don't get no taste for nothing. It just does it because it has the chance to. It's an opportunist. Does it simply because it's there. Now, I studied you. I know a lot about you. And I know you're not just doing this. You're doing this because you can.
You're almost right.
Then enlighten me.
Well, I don't know about you, but I have had these abilities for about 3 years now, and at first it was just the abilities. Just the pure luck that I had them, just the convenience. I could no longer have to use stairs. I could just flow up into my room. I didn't have to worry about traffic. I could just float straight over it.
Oh,
I didn't have to worry about people freaking out due to their emotions. I could talk to them and calm them down easily. But then it started to become clear to me that I didn't get these abilities for nothing, and if I wanted to keep them, I needed to use them correctly. This isn't something I do because I can, it's something I do because I'm supposed to.
I can understand that to some degree. See, my particular mutation is a bit different. Sometime in ancient Greece or Rome, I'm not sure actually when, a man fell off a boat and a dolphin came and picked him up and carried him home. Now that fucking irrational desire to help people has wormed its way into my heart. And I have no choice now but to help people. Which means I'm gonna help people against you.
Could work together. I mean, there's no helping people from drowning if there's no people drowning, is there?
The wonderful irony of my job.
Right. And I've got
Problem
a similar
is-
irony.
It's almost like we were made for each other.
I suppose.
Well, it's an awfully romantic idea. It truly is. You dragging people into the water and me picking them out again. Got the ring of a story to it. Sure it does. But it's not very practical. Is it now?
The world isn't practical.
No.
Neither are stories.
No. Another beautiful irony. So I'm going to ask you now. One last chance. My men aren't just out there, just sitting around. They're setting up a perimeter. They've gotten the worst of the worst before. Beasties I don't even want to go into the description of because it will give you nightmares for the rest of your life. They don't let people get away. They're good at what they do. Now, either you stay here, you make this place a sanctuary, I put some things in place to keep you on the straight and narrow, and I'll know if you break them. And we leave you be. Your second option is you refuse. You come with me and you face trial for everything you've done. Now, the order's one thing, but if it gets to the council, I'm not sure about your chances. Your final option is you do what I think is going on in your head, and you try to kill me, try to get out of here, try to escape, and me and my men are forced to put an end to you.
Can't say I like any of these options.
Nobody likes their options.
Right.
Just be thankful that you're getting them. It's only due to your particular nature that you're getting them at all.
Right. The thing is, this place, it isn't a sanctuary. It never will be. This is a place where lonely people go to have their voice heard, and that's it. This isn't a hangout for people to go because they have some kind of ability. This isn't some kind of special club.
Jesus, I didn't say I wanted it to be heaven. I just want this to be a place where people in the community can go and be safe from some of the stuff out there. A place where I know I have someone, you, that I can trust and that I can call on when I need to find out some stuff in this area. Things are changing.
Right.
I need people like you.
So this council then, who are they? Is it just some ragtag team of misfits, or is it something more structured?
Give me a convince check.
All right, I'm going to use. Let's see. Ooh, what can I even use? Amateur sleuth, since I'm questioning someone.
Amateur sleuth, I'll allow.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if trustworthy appearance
He
works to this
he knows
guy.
what you
No,
are. He knows
exactly.
what you are. There's no
In
way.
fact, I will use the weakness tag to where he keep that distance.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for using that. That was a very appropriate weakness to employ.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, none of my pub things will work either, right? I assume. I am in that pub owner situation.
So I think you're in the pub owner situation. I think you do get pub.
All right. Yeah. Okay. In that case, it's a +1, and here we go with a convince. That's a 9.
It's a 9. Right.
So use a relevant status.
He's going to either take a relevant status, or he's going to give a little and protect his own agenda. He's going to give a little and protect his own agenda. So.
Oh. All right.
He's going to sort of pause for a moment and go, something like that. Long time ago, the city was pure chaos. Absolute madness. You think about the Wild West, throw in a bunch of fucking psychopaths who can turn into beasts and claws and all sorts of other shit. You get that kind of thing. Something about Old Mannock being a breeding ground for our kind. Anyway, it wasn't working out. So 2 bodies came into power. The council and the order. They're who I work for.
Right. And they, by the way, about how I've understood it, they go out and they push down individuals that get too close to what they need to do.
No. That's just my department. Council's in charge of a hell of a lot more than that. No. My department, we're the Silver Thorns. We're the ones who deal with you. And your kind.
Right.
My name's Duncan Foley, by the way. I think we've introduced
Jasmine
each other
Wright.
before. Nice to meet you in person, Jasmine.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. So what can I expect if I go over to the council? It doesn't sound all that great, but what
Well,
is this, corporal punishment or...
if you stay here, that we never have to go there. But if I bring you in, well, goes down a long road of judging how dangerous you are. We have a certain series of tests we put you through. And if you come
Right.
out of the other side of those and are considered a beastie, then the council will have a judge and they will consider how dangerous you are and come up with a solution. You might be simply sent to the Donnelly house, you might be,
Oh, I don't think that will be possible anymore. Did I get the memo? I mean, it does make sense now. I suppose those were the people she saw. The Donnelly man's really isn't there anymore.
What do you mean not there?
Well, I don't know how it happened, but we did a little bit of investigation on some statues, and before you knew it, the house was in shambles and breaking into pieces before leaving nothing but a pile of rubble.
He stops for a moment, runs his hand through his beard, and puts his hands in it over his face and goes and screams into his hands and puts his hands down and goes, "You fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. You stupid."
Come on, let it out. You're in a pub after all. What's wrong? Who messed up?
You more than messed up.
Oh,
There's 3 locations we have for holding people like you. Donnelly Mance is one of them. But it's one of the ones where the guy I inherited this job from, a lot more capable than I am. And he was really fucking good at catching them. Let's just say. And he grabs the nearest empty pint glass and chucks it against the wall. It shatters and he goes, "Fuck!" There's a creaking noise and the door opens and the guy with the mask on peers his head in and he goes, "I didn't fucking ask for you!" The guy stops for a second. Does some weird strange things with his hands. And he goes, "Yeah, after. Send Lucina. Get them out now, right?" The figure nods and slips out and he goes, "Fuck. I suddenly don't have a lot of time left, which means that this conversation now has a fucking timer on it. So, I'm sorry, but I need to know now."
well, I mean, I would love to offer you some help with that man's situation since I was there and saw what happened, but if that isn't an option, then
If
I
you're-
suppose...
If you wanted to offer your help, that only is going to come through if you agree to my terms. I can't have
That's
you
the
running
thing.
around the city.
Right, here's the thing. I am supposed to lead people to their doom. That isn't a choice I have. I need to do this.
Find a way around it.
Well,
Figure out another kind of doom. Make them
there's
fucking
people...
drink to their deaths. I don't care.
I mean, how about we just change the targets? These were dangerous people that were in there, right?
Aye.
Well, if you can send me after
I'm not having them
people...
killed.
Oh,
We're a legal system. We go through the law. They're only killed if there's no other option.
right, of course, the bloody bureaucracy. Well, in that
It's
case,
that bloody
I...
bureaucracy that's the reason you're fucking alive right now, so I wouldn't mock it.
Look, I don't have time for this. I am not going to make this place into a bloody mockery of itself, and I am not going to stop doing what I have to do. That's my final answer. You're more than welcome to bring all of your men in here and try to take me down. But I'm not going to be your puppet.
He takes his hat off, runs his hand through his hair, sighs, puts it back on, reaches for the glass of mead and goes, I'm not gonna need them.
All right.
He raises his glass to you.
Mm-hmm.
To saving the drowned.
And I do reach for a glass as well for a moment before I stop holding back.
Right.
I
What are
am
you trying
going to. Oh, whoops! That's
Don't
ignore
roll
that one.
now.
That
We
was an
can't-
accidental. That was an accidental
We're not
roll.
counting that
Ignore it.
one. It was an 11,
I'm-
but we're not counting that
Yeah,
one.
no,
Yeah.
that was an accidental click. I am going to focus on the floor of this place, on the pub itself, in fact, as I try to turn the floor that is already slightly moss covered into a mushy swamp, swallowing up anyone who's still inside. Hopefully to their doom.
Okay.
Now, is this significant? No return or ultimate?
Right. I need to have a look at the thing one more time because I need to have a good think about this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Okay. I'm gonna give you an offer for 2.
Okay.
Where's my start back rules? Just to make.
Let's see. Quick
It's
rules.
page. Here we go. Stop holding back. Page 256. Just to read them out. Okay. So the options are significant. On a roll of 7 to 9, you mark a fade, a crack, and burn all power tags on one theme. On a 10 plus, you mark fade and crack on one theme. No return. Place it on a 7 to 9. Replace one theme. On a plus 10, mark fade and crack and burn all the power tags on one theme. Ultimate. On a 7 to 9, you are killed, destroyed, or transformed forever. Take a tier 6 status. You cannot face danger. On a 10 plus, replace one theme. On a 6 or less, you pay the price given for a 7 to 9, but you also lose control over your powers or fail to use them as planned. The MC will decide how and what the consequences are. So, your options are going to be, as in no return, which is you will get everyone inside the pub. Or there's an ultimate. You'll get everyone inside the pub and everyone outside the pub in a, I'm going to say, a 20-foot radius, sucking the whole ground into a boggy landscape.
That is what I'm going for. Ultimate.
As you roll it, I need you to roll your split roll with logos.
Yes, so I've got 2 logos, so that's a +2.
That's a +2. As you are going to do this, though, what does it look like when you do this?
Jasmine is going to reach for the glass, but as she reaches out to it, instead she gently lays down her hand on the bar and her other hand, and as she looks over to Duncan, was his name, right?
Yeah, Duncan.
She says, "To the drowned," and with a force of There's like a shockwave in the moss as it flows out from my hands
As you
over
start
the
doing that, he's
ground.
already like, don't! And his hand is reaching for something in his jacket as this
Yep.
happens.
And
Okay.
here I go. Stop holding back. It's a 10.
That is a 10, which is a great success. So,
Oh.
as it extends outwards, Duncan goes, fuck! He throws something at you, pulls something else from his, and you can see a thick, weighty gun. But it is too late. He has already slipped beneath the water. He's gone straight down. And as he does, you don't see panic in his eyes or fear. You just see this look of, this isn't over. And he's gone into darkness. The mud swallowing him up underneath. You hear several yelps of pain, and I need to do several rolls here, sorry.
All right.
I'm going to roll these as D100s.
Ooh. Bunch of high ones.
Right. Okay. As this happens, you're gonna. Oh God, I need to change the thing to something else. This. Okay. As you do this, there's going to be a moment of sudden, like, it's just like a noise, and everything begins to get sucked up the ground, but you are still standing above it. You hear several screams outside, and the camera's going to pan out to outside as the figures are all beginning to get into place. The man with the helmet has pulled his helmet on, and he goes, "We're getting drinks, stuff," and he's gone. And as he disappears beneath the surface, he just lets out a scream, his hand extending out into the darkness. The lizard figure starts to slip into the darkness, and he leaps out, a fingered hand clawing onto the side, and he starts to displease and goes, throws his boomerang, and as he throws it up, there's a flash of blinding light, and he appears several feet in the air, falling, hits the ground with a thud. Several of his teeth fall out. He's further away, and he's bleeding like hell as he stands up slowly, and you can see that his arm is broken. The women, each with their swords ready, one by one, start slipping beneath, and she's like, Astrid! And then the other one's gone, and the other one's gone, and the last one, it just disappears with a snap. After a couple of seconds, there's an explosion of mud as she jumps out. Both of her sisters left into nothingness. The man with the silver belt goes under with a roar of like as he disappears into nothingness. There's a glimmering in the mud around him, and that falls dark as well. The figure wearing the mask, the baboon person just lets out a and he's gone. The figure wearing the mask stands floating on top of the water, undisturbed by it. He looks down and across and goes, and that's going to be the end of his moment. Switches then to the bard is gone. The bard just lets out a scream and is gone. And the final one you don't know about yet is going to be fine. As everything else disintegrates, all of the claymen disappearing without a sound. Several cars rolling off the street and tumbling into the darkness of the mud and sliding through where once there was hard pavement, there is now just a bottomless pit of mud. There's going to be silence for a while. What are you doing?
Well, first of all, Jasmine almost instinctively turns into a wisp form.
By the way, the second this happens, there's like a ripping sensation in your body as the amount of pain that courses through you.
Oh.
Are you turning into your wisp form?
Yes, she's going to turn into a wisp form, and as she does so, she's going to zip by the window, see who is still standing.
You zip by the window, and as you zip across the window, that you're there for half a second before a masked face goes, and the hand is going to go shooting through the window towards you, and you do a face danger.
All right, wisp form.
Yeah.
Face through solid matter.
Yeah.
I am going to replace my Cold Pines Warm Night card, so I won't be able to use anything from there. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think those two are the only ones that can help me here.
Okay, go
yeah.
for it.
All right, face danger with a +2.
Okay,
It's a 12.
great success. So, with a 12 and a great success, you're going to fend off all damage. However, they have an ability which is called Coordinated Attack, where if three or more of them still exist, they are able to do 2 points of damage to you, even if you succeed. So as you stand there, his hand goes and misses you by an inch. As his hand sort of extends, you hear him go in his mask. He goes, and as he does, you see a flash of light floating in the air outside your things. It seems there was another one waiting in a trap for when you went into wisp form. A man with dark black skin, an eye tattooed across his chest that is glimmering with the light of a star. He extends his hands outwards and blasts it towards you as a bolt of starlight slams into your wisp form, and you take because it's so many. There's gonna be so many different versions of damage. You're just gonna take damaged 2.
Damaged 2. All right. Check. All right. How many people are still standing?
From what you can see the guy with the mask, the star person, the lizard guy is up and moving. The Valkyrie is also moving. She seems like she burst out of the goop. And as you are standing there, you hear a chittering noise, like from deep within the ground of something churning to try and get out.
So that's
he's
like
being held a
5
bit
of
longer
them.
because he was right in the middle of it.
Yeah. All right. Ooh. This is difficult. Hey, that's what I signed up for. All right. I'm going to.
The Valkyrie looks fucking beaten up, by the way. Anyone who
Yeah?
jumped out, so the lizard guy with the boomerang is fucking beat up, and the lizard girl is also, so that the Valkyrie is heavily beaten up as well. The only ones who are in like normal condition is the masked guy and the star guy.
All right. I'm going to. Shit. Yeah. I am. Stark. Oh, shit. What can I do? Let me think. Mask guy seems okay. Can I see who seems to be the biggest threat? Is there something I can do with that? Like an investigate check?
Do you want to do that as an investigate?
Yes, I'd say so.
I will
yeah.
allow that as an investigate.
All right. Amateur sleuth is like detective work. That's not combat stuff. I think I don't have anything I can add to this. So here we go. Flat investigate, and it's an 8.
Okay.
So I get to choose one
So you get to
thing.
do one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Go. Ask me one question.
Yeah. Who seems to be the biggest threat?
Right. Well, from what you can see, the dark-faced doctor doesn't seem to have any, have been affected at all by your stop holding back. You're not sure if he even had to do any check for it. You're not sure. What's more, as he extended his hand towards you, you saw little tiny needles on the tips of his glove. The star figure looks powerful, but and also like he's been brought along to deal with you, but you're not sure of his capabilities. Like the other two are hella beaten up, and at the moment they're just standing on the outside. The Valkyrie with her sword, she's just dripping head to toe in mud, and she's like crying, looking for people in the mud, like dipping her hand into the mud, trying to grab anyone. The lizard with the boomerang is struggling to sort of like move the boomerang to his left arm, and it's like he's pulling it back ready to throw, but you're not sure if he's going to be able to do that. At this moment, Duncan is going to take his turn. Rather than get himself out, he's going to use his movement to send something else to get someone else out who is still alive.
Shit.
Going to be the end of so that's the end of your investigate. At this point, the doctor guy who's done this just casually goes and breaks the rest of the window, and slowly, languidly strides into it, like puts a leg through the window and starts climbing into the pub. The star guy sort of bamfs out of like in a glowing streak of light and is going to be bamfing up higher into the sky. So he's above the pub now.
Ah, shit. God. So since I'm replacing one card, is that something? Since I already know what I'm going to replace it with,
right now.
can I do that right now?
You don't
Okay.
replace it, but it's gone. Like it's just going to be gone now, and you will get to replace it if you survive this.
Yeah. All right. In that case, it's gone. There
Cold
we
pubs
go.
and warm nights, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
one.
And with that, as it disappears, there's a deep as the foundations of the pub, only being held together by your magic for this place, begin to grow.
I'm gonna go. Ooh. So we've got that guy up there. You know what? I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna float through the hatch behind the bar.
Okay.
Through the hatch behind the bar into the cellar.
Okay.
I'm curious how it looks right now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where I'm gonna go.
Everything at the moment is being held by your magic.
Yeah.
You're gonna fly through there. This is you trying to escape from the doctor. This is gonna be a go toe to toe, but because it's just you and him in the room right now, no, there's just one. Okay, no, they're not gonna be able to use their ability here. So it's just gonna be you going toe to toe with him.
All right.
As he tries to stop you.
Got my wisp form and phase through solid matter.
Mm-hmm.
I believe those are the only ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go toe to toe. That's a 9. I'm rolling
Mild
pretty
success.
well.
Right. Okay. So you managed to achieve your goal, which is get to the thing. What's the other one you want to do?
So I managed to do that, and I am going to. I'm going to get the doctor with the status sinking.
Sinking.
Yes.
I'm afraid he's immune to that status.
Oh, all right. And I don't get to do something else?
You can do something else, you just can't hit that status.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna dodge any attempts.
Okay, right. You start racing towards the hatch as he leaps out and he extends forwards and flicks his hands. And as he does, there's a spray of tiny little needles going across the air. You glide and move, and by pure luck, none of them hit you. He stands there and very sort of shakes his fingers for a second, goes, and starts striding across the muck. None of it is touching his boots. He's just like stepping across it.
God.
After you, zoom through and into the basement. The basement is only being held together by your magic. Everything around it is liquid, literally. And as you slip into it, it is just overflowing. Like there are gaps in the walls which are just gushing mud and muck and pouring down, filling this place and slowly sinking it like it's a ship, like it's belly of a ship just filling up with water. As you go into it now, you can see there's cracks running up along the walls, the various kegs and ales that you have floating up in the sort of like the knee-length water that's already filled this place. As you step in here, it kind of feels like you can hear a chittering surrounding the place, like as something is moving around this, searching desperately for something. This is your father's pub, your father's drinking cellar, and it is crumbling around you.
Yeah. God. Thinking real hard. The doctor is coming after me, right?
Doctor is coming after you.
Yeah. Well, there is a small elevator that leads to the outside where I usually get shipments and get them straight into the cellar. I could use that, perhaps. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna float over there, float through that elevator into the corridor behind the.
As you do that, it's going to cut to outside. The star man is flying through the sky. His white eye on his chest is blazing brightly as his own eyes, are blazing with light. He's searching madly across the ground. The Valkyrie has stood up now. She's tossing mud from her sword, going, "I'm gonna kill her! I'm gonna kill her!" It cuts to on the other side of the water. A dolphin made entirely out of water bursts out of the muck with a figure on its back. The man with the golden shimmering belt. He gets pulled out of the water and dumped onto the ground, where he coughs and muck begins spurting out of his lungs. The dolphin churns and goes under again. Deep beneath the water, immune to drowning, Duncan is surrounded by several more dolphins that he's beginning to summon as he goes and throws them against the wall of the basement. One by one, they crash against it as the doctor begins to make his slow way down the steps, clacking calmly and carefully down the steps after you. I need you to give me a sneaking around.
Right. Wisp form, face the solid matter.
Eyes of Opus is going to work against you.
Oh, all right. How much minus?
That's going to be a -2.
All right. So that cancels out those two bonuses. The wisp form and face through solid matter. And I think those are the only ones I can get there. So sneak around with a +0. That's still an 8.
Still a success.
I am so bloody lucky.
Right. Okay.
All right. Gets complicated.
Okay. Okay. As you slide towards the elevator exit, your wisp form sliding through it and upwards, the basement wall crashes open, several water dolphins shattering it open as Duncan slides through, standing on one. In his hand is a pistol, in his other hand is a set of cuffs that are glowing with the light. He stands there, caked in mud, shakes his head, and the doctor is standing opposite him, his sort of clicking eyes looking at him, and he goes, "Well? Where the fuck is she?" Outside, you slip out. As the Valkyrie stands there, her sword raised, swiping desperately, running back and forth, trying to find you. You are out into the open now. The star figure, glimmering above, doesn't seem to see anything. As he looks forward, he goes, "I'm looking, but there's nothing here." And as he turns in his slow arc, you slip into the darkness. There's a tremendous groan as the doctor shakes his head disappointedly and slowly begins to make his way up the stairs. Duncan growls and he dips back into the flow of the water. It's a couple of seconds later, there's a groaning as the whole of your pub growls to halt behind you. The whole thing breaking piece by piece as it shatters in on itself. The others stand outside for a moment. They stare at the space where the building once was. Just a pile of rubble now, sinking rapidly into the muck. There's a moment of pause, and then suddenly the doctor pushes off a piece of rubble and strides out calmly. And then there's another poof in the water, and Duncan slides out, holding onto two water dolphins that dump him onto the side of the ground. He stands, panting. "Oh, not again." He watches Opus. The Starman comes and flies down to the ground, and as he lands, his glow begins to diminish, and he goes, "I'm sorry, I couldn't find her." He goes, "Don't worry, it's not your fault." But the call out, Jasmine Wright, is now officially on the kill list. Jaeger skill. And as he says that, there's and a portal opens. He goes, "You lot, stay behind, search the place, find me something. In the meantime, I gotta get on top of this." He puts the guns into his pocket, steps into the darkness of the portal. With that, he's gone. And as he disappears, we're going to cut to the inside of the grand hall of the council. Duncan strides in, mud covered, his footsteps leaving black marks on the ground as he steps through angrily. You would think he would be going to his office, but he doesn't. No, he continues deeper to a very much more lavish part of the grand hall. He goes deeper and deeper till he reaches a door simply marked Shoemaker. He reaches out and turns the door handle, knowing that this door will only open for him or his predecessor or any one of the heads of the Silver Thorns. He's inside then, in a dark workshop where there's a sound of clanging metal. He shuts the door behind him and steps in. He goes, "You fucking lied to me." The man in the darkness goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't lie about anything. Is she alright? She alright? She fucking killed. No more mercy, no more of your fucking deals. We're done. You understand? Your daughter is gonna die for this. He steps outside as Joseph Wright turns to what he has been building on the ground. Cuffs and guns and equipment as he is bound himself by cuffs to the ground. Trapped here, the shoemaker of the council. He looks at his hands and goes, "Oh, Jasmine, what have I done?" And that's where we're going to end tonight.
My fucking god, that's... Oh my god, that was amazing. Oh. It's... God, that was...
How the fuck
Yeah.
you survived that?